Oh, hi, Danielle. Welcome to Harold Holistic Health. Um, let's get straight into the interview, shall we? How important are interpersonal skills such as communication to developing positive therapeutic relationships?
Look, I think communication skills are absolutely essential to the relationship between a client practitioner. I think it's really imperative to be able to recognize how your client presents themselves and communicates, and then within boundaries, of course, match that style. Because if there's a strong line of communication between the two of you, I think then a level of mutual understanding will be there, and that will then allow a connection or rapport to ultimately and naturally occur. And once that's established, the progress and outcome should be better for both you and your client.
Great. Self awareness and continual reflection give greater understanding of how we think, feel, and act. How are you developing your skills of self reflection and awareness as a practitioner?
Yeah. Well, I think an extremely important aspect to self awareness is being in the present. And if so, then you should be aware of the energy you're projecting or your body language and so on, which in turn makes you aware of how you're presenting yourself to your client. And I think self reflection is something I really try to do daily, even just taking a few moments, sorry, to assess my actions of the day and asking, could I have improved in any areas or would I have done anything differently? I'm also not afraid to ask for help from a colleague or supervisor if need be.
Great. I believe some people are naturally intuitive. Would you say you're an intuitive person, and how are you developing these skills?
Yeah, I believe I am an intuitive person. I think being naturally intuitive goes hand in hand with having a strong sense of self, self respect, and a genuine trust in your actions, which then will convey in confidence and wisdom. Particularly in this field, I think if a client is seeking out guidance, they're more likely to believe in the positivity of their outcome if the practitioner does as well, which is why I think it's vital to trust your intuition, because otherwise you may dismiss important internal cues that would have benefited you or your client.
If I spoke to a person you'd worked closely with in a previous job, how would they describe you in terms of your strengths or unique qualities and values?
I think they would have admired my level of care and dedication. I wouldn't have chosen this field if I wasn't going to perform it without passion. I think what helps me acquire the passion needed in the workplace is putting myself into my client's shoes. I think you need to ask yourself, what would you expect if you were seeking out a healthcare professional, or how would you walk away satisfied? Although I understand every client's needs is going to be different and individualized, but I think if you keep those questions in mind, it's going to help you as a practitioner assess your client's needs and meet them to the best of your ability.
How important is self care for a practitioner working in a busy practice?
I think self care is absolutely vital, especially in a busy environment where it's hard to take time out for yourself. But if you're feeling emotionally run down or stressed or tired, for example, that's going to project through your work, and ultimately you wouldn't be fulfilling your duty of care. I think if I was to present myself in an unseemly way, I think it's going to discredit everything I'm saying to my client. But I think if you take care of your mind, body, and spirit and try to maintain that same care, that effort will emerge through your work, ultimately presenting yourself in the most genuine way possible. And for me, I think that's just ensuring I take time out for myself every day. I try to eat as healthy as I can and just maintain balance within all aspects of my life.
Right. Um, Patients that attend our practice have complex needs. They may be experiencing high levels of stress, anxiety, or low self esteem. What are some of the holistic strategies you would employ to bring out positive change in your patient and client?
Well, I try to acknowledge the fact that every client is going to have a unique set of goals that they ultimately want to achieve. I think by implementing a holistic approach, it's going to help prevent these issues emerge later in their life. It's going to ensure that each patient is receiving an individualized treatment plan, and it's a great way to involve the client in this process. I think by taking on the different factors in their life, you're going to gain all this information, which then turns into a great opportunity for the client, and that's simply educating them. And through this, they'll hopefully gain a holistic understanding of what brought them to this point and the tools they now need to ensure they maintain their well-being.
Great. What are your long-term aspirations in terms of building a career as a natural health practitioner, and what motivated this career choice?
Well, I've always had an interest and admiration in the natural spectrum of remedies. I think there's something very beautiful and deliberate in our surroundings, and they're here to make human existence easier. And ultimately, I would just love to be the best natural healthcare worker that I can be. I'm eager to learn, and I would love to see what your clinic has to offer.
Great. Thanks very much for your time, Danielle.
Thank you.